Welcome everybody to a Battlefield 1 sniping guide. Today we're going to be going over the pros and cons of sniping in Battlefield 1, because I was kind of worried, but there are some good things about it and some bad things to go along with it. We are playing on the Xbox One beta version, so all the gameplay you're going to see is from that. So we're using the Gewehr Sniper Sharpshooter, from the beta, and this gun is actually my favorite out of all the ones that I've used. The beginning one that you start with is pretty good, but this one is by far the best. It packs the most punch. And so that's why I wanted to show you guys the gun, because it is fantastic. There's almost no bullet drop whatsoever. There's slight bullet drop and not much, which we can get into that here in a couple minutes. But the gun itself is absolutely fantastic. I love it. It only holds 5 rounds, so if you are looking to be up close, it's not the best gun for that. There are some tricks around how many shots you can get into a couple seconds, but if you are looking for a close quarter sniper, this is definitely not your sniper for that. This sniper is going to be great for long range to mid-range sniping, because your scope does not zoom in. It's a set scope, so there is no zooming in there. So sniping in Battlefield 1 is definitely a unique thing, and with every Battlefield game, starting from 3 is kind of where I started playing my Battlefield and the franchise from there. In Battlefield 3, sniping was very difficult. You actually had a lot of bullet drop. It was not something that you could just pick up and immediately get killed right away. And that's kind of the opposite case here when it comes to Battlefield 1, because it's still very simple and very easy. And being that it is Battlefield 1 and World War 1, the guns have amazing bullet velocity. It's ridiculous how fast they go. Some of the snipers are even faster bullet velocity than Battlefield 4, which in my opinion does not make any sense. But I get it, not everything can be extremely realistic. Some of the pros and cons that we are going to talk about is the bullet drop is one of the main things I want to talk about. So it's definitely one of those things to where at a long range, especially with some of these snipers, since you do not have a adjustable scope like you did, like a variable zoom in Battlefield 4, it is very hard to see where your bullet is actually traveling to if somebody is at range. You kind of have to know your gun at that point. So definitely, if you're going to be sniping in this game, every gun is going to be different here. So kind of pick a sniper to use first, get used to that sniper, and then you're going to understand its limitations, its bullet drop, its velocity, stuff like that. So try not to mess around with it too much when you're sniping until you really get used to the gun, and then kind of go from there. But overall, sniping in the game is pretty damn easy if you ask me, because like we talked about, there's not much bullet drop. There's slight margins of bullet drop, which can get you a slight deviation from a headshot, which has happened to me quite a few times. And the only bad thing about that is it's so hard to adjust, mainly with a controller. With PC, it's going to be a lot easier, but with a controller, it is definitely a lot harder to adjust just a tiny hair up from where you want to be. So every now and then you kind of miss yourself a headshot every now and then, one that you should have, but it's not that big of a deal. And one of the big things about this game is don't be afraid to take body shots, and body shots in this game they're going to be your best friend, because they give you at least 70% damage. Now unless there's this one person, it's kind of a glitch in the game, to where what you will see is somebody, it has something to do with the horses, but somebody will spawn in and they don't get on the horse, and then they're almost invincible, to where everybody else, you can do 70 damage up close from far. You know, you're doing a lot of damage to them with one shot if you hit them, no matter where you hit them. But with this guy, you can hit him in the head, it's only 18 damage. Hit him in the chest, only 18 damage. It's just a glitch in the game, so kind of be aware for that. But this is the beta version, so there are some things that will be a hit and miss here that do not go against the game there, because it is the beta, it's what it's made for. So we talked about some of the pros for the sniper class, mainly just the bullet drop. The bullet velocity is a big pro there. There's not too much you have to really deal with. Some of the cons is the customization of the guns. It does not seem like you can really customize your guns in the game. Now that can change when the full game comes out, but we are going off just the beta here, so some things are definitely going to change, and we do know that. But like we said, we are just going off the beta just to kind of clarify things there. From what it looks like, you can't really customize a gun too much. For example, the gun I'm using, the Gewehr, I would like to add a mid-range scope or a variable zoom. One of the snipers has it. I wish I could put that scope on this one so I could see where my bullets are going. And, you know, one of the other bad things is there is a zeroing scope or a zeroing on the gun that can make it shoot farther. But I feel like it's not really necessary with the bullet velocity of these guns, and only judging off this map, and this is a pretty big map, there's not really any need to actually use it too often unless somebody's really far away. But even then, you can just aim up a little bit and you're going to be fine. So it's one of those things to where I don't usually mess with the zeroing scope of my gun, because it doesn't seem to make a world of difference here. So with the bullet velocity, obviously we know that you do not have to lead your shots as much, and that's just a given, right? Because the bullet's moving fast, you don't have to lead them as much, and with bullet drop, there's not as much, so you don't have to lead them as high either. So it's definitely a very easy thing to just pick up the sniper class and just kind of run with it. And in my opinion, that's kind of a bad thing. I kind of missed the Battlefield 3 days to where there actually was a challenge to sniping. As of right now, I mean, Battlefield 4 was the same way. It just got too easy at that point, and I think that's kind of where I kind of lost interest in sniping a little bit, is because there's not really any challenge to it anymore. But one of the other things that is a big difference in this game, is a game changer, is the glint from your scope. From what it seems, it's not 100% proven, but from what it seems like, if you are in the shade, your sniper does not have a glint. Makes sense, you're not in the sun. So if you want to stay hidden as well as possible, stay in the shade, because then nobody can see your glint. If you are not in the shade and you're sniping from a distance, everybody can see your glint. It is very noticeable in this game. It's so easy, not even just for snipers, but for artillery people, for LMGs. It's so easy for people to see your glint in this game that if you're not sniping from the shade, you definitely want to pay attention to that, because if you're going to be able to see somebody from far away without zooming in with your scope, somebody else can see you as well. So you are very, very noticeable if you are not in the shade. So I definitely recommend that if you are going to snipe, try to find as much shade as possible. It doesn't have to be much, but it does help you in your chances of surviving and for getting more kills there. Now again, this is not 100% proven, but from what it seems like, it is definitely a very useful thing if you do it correctly. Alright, well guys, that's pretty much it for this roundup for the Battlefield 1 sniping guide. So sniping in this game overall is very simple, very easy to pick up and kind of get your head around it very quickly. There are some things that you still have to account for, like the lead of the shots and everything. You will still miss a lot of shots unless you're one of the best players in the world, but do not let that, you know, bug you. I still miss a lot of shots, but I still get a lot of kills as well. So you really just have to balance out the two. VJ will be back with some more videos talking about some of the other classes, because he does a lot of stuff with those. I mainly do the sniping. That's why I want to bring this video to you guys. So if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later. And let me know what your favorite sniper is in the game.